Hello, my name is Davina and I'm delighted to be here to tell you about BookBrowse for libraries. BookBrowse's fundamental premise is that there's just too many books in the world to read all of them. You can't even read about all of them. So we offer a curated resource of what we believe to be the best and most interesting books. For us, for a book to make it onto BookBrowse, it needs to do more than just have page-turning appeal. When you finish it, you need to know something new about the world or yourself. So we're looking for books that don't just entertain, they also engage and inform and enlighten. And as I said, we're about depth, not breadth. So every time you find a book on BookBrowse, you're going to have everything you need to know about the book to make your own informed decision. Just going to briefly turn to our brochure, which you can find in our BookBrowse for library section, which is at bookbrowse/lib, L-I-B. And I'm going to go down to our visitors to give you a feel for who our audience are and how that fits with your library. First off, our visitors are heavy readers and borrowers of books. 3/4 are borrowing at least one book from their library each month. And 2/3 are visiting their library online at least once a month, and over 2/3 are visiting in person. When you think about who in your library would appreciate BookBrowse, think of those book club members, think of those volunteers, think of those friends of the library members, the ones who are always on you saying, what's new? What can I read in my book club? I've read this book and I'd really like some recommendations about what to read next. I'm going on vacation in Italy and I love historical fiction. What can I read? These are all the questions that BookBrowse can answer, and we can answer them in a way that your patrons can go and do their own research and find the books that are right for them, or you can do it for them. But we're very patron friendly because first and foremost, we are a website with content available for free, but full access only for members and patrons and staff of libraries that subscribe to BookBrowse for libraries. So this is a list of the features that you already may be familiar with on BookBrowse if you're familiar with us as a website you visit for free. You can see the column of free features, and then on the right, the added value premium features. Members have access to our interactive online magazine, a wonderful resource. I'll show you that later. They also have many readers advisory and collection development tools, more access to our book club resources, and of course we offer lots of library integration. And in fact, on that note, before I take you to the main site, I'm going to take you to our library integration resources to show you how you can use us in your library. Because one of the things when we started BookBrowse for libraries, we observed there was a challenge that many libraries have. They buy these incredible resources, but then they put them on a resource page where patrons may struggle to find them. When they find them, they're then stuck wondering, what is this resource and do I want to use it? I have to log in to find out if I like it at all. Do I want to do that? We've solved this by making access very easy. So first of all, let me log out of My Town Library, which is our sample library, and show you how a patron could literally just come to BookBrowse knowing that their library has a subscription. They could go to our patron section, for example. Let me check my local library system here in Santa Clara County, California. I can put in Santa Clara County, and I can see here all the libraries are turning up. So I could have put in Gilroy Library and I would have still got a search result. I put in Campbell Library, I will get a search result. And then I can just, that's not going to work. And then I can just click and I'm now logged in as a patron of my local library. My usage is being tracked. I'm able to go to the search for this book in my library and I can check if it's available in my library. It is. I can, and that search, by the way, searches all formats, not just the ISBN number, it searches by title and author. And when I'm ready to log in, I will be prompted to enter my library card number. But at that point, I have already decided that BookBrowse is something that's interesting to me, and I'm ready to make that next step. And of course, you can also link from your library website to our main page, but you can link in a number of different ways, because we have proprietary technology that allows you to link directly to any page on BookBrowse. For example, here we have the newsletter link, for example. The best usage comes from libraries that encourage their patrons to subscribe to receive newsletters, because that way they are prompted, they're reminded of a resource, they get a very user-friendly, instant gratification newsletter twice a month in line with the new issues of our magazine, and they can just click through and start browsing instantly. We offer ready-to-use links to every section of the site, and you can make them to any individual book. If you wanted to put a link to our reader likes or our book club section, you would simply log into your library with the link, and you would simply provide this link to your patrons, and they would be able to go straight to these resources. For example, you might want to put a link to our 1800 book club guides in your book club section. You might want to link directly to our discussions, our book club discussions. You can also put graphics. We're constantly updating the graphics available to you. You could put this graphic on your website. We'll constantly update this as new books come out. So the BookBrowse Book Club can become an extension of your own book club resources. You'd simply link to this URL here, and you'd use this for the image, and then you'd link to the image there. We're updating these every month. We're adding new ones, so you can use them on social media. You can use them wherever you want. Also, we have a handy information sheet you can download at any time if you want to, in order to have a useful resource of links and how to use and how to link to BookBrowse. You can just go and get this information sheet, or we can send it to you at any time, which provides the hints you need in order to access all the resources I've just been showing you. You can also put apps on your website. The app's gone. There they are. For example, you could start searching for reader likes directly from your website. For example, maybe somebody is interested in more books by Amy Chua. You could put in Amy Chua here. You'd first actually want to choose the author button there to get the right results. And then you can see reader likes for Amy Chua. Now, one of the things that sets here, I'm being asked to log in because I'm viewing more than the free content. So I'm just going to put in a 5-digit library card number starting with 2, which mimics what your patrons would use, which would probably be a 14-digit card starting with 5 standard numbers. Or we can also authenticate through Easy Proxy and other library systems. But here I'm just using our free test library login. And now I should have access. I'm sorry, I messed up that link there, but here. Now, one of the things that sets our reader likes apart from others, firstly, they're all hand-picked. We don't use algorithms because algorithms don't give you the full picture. By hand-picking, we can make those intuitive leaps between genres, between styles, and we choose them essentially on the basis of Nancy Pearl's doorways or windows, I can't remember what it was, story, character, setting, and language. And we also link by title, not author. And this comes in handy. For example, if somebody comes to you and says, I really loved Amy Chua's book, and you think, Battle Hymn of a Tiger Mother, and you send them off to other books that fit that. And then later you discover actually they were talking about Amy Chua's fiction book, just published fiction book, sorry, just briefly distracted, taking you to the reader likes the battle hymn of a tiger mother. But then you discover that, as I said, they were actually asking about a new fiction book for Golden Gate. Then you would send them to the reader likes for the Golden Gate. And having taken them to these reader likes, they would be, or of course, having sent themselves to look at it, because we are first and foremost a user-friendly website for people to use, not just a library resource. Every single one of these books gives them the depth of information they need to make their own decision. For example, the Jane Smiley book. They could come through here. They can see the book jacket summary, of course. They can also see an excerpt, and they can click here to see the full excerpt. We usually have about 1,500 words or more, enough to give people a flavor for the style of book. They can read our own review. They can see a range of media reviews. And if we have them, they can see reader reviews. For us, books are a jumping off point to new avenues of learning. They're not an end destination themselves. So we always include a Beyond the Book article. The Beyond the Book articles are fascinating because they allow people to come into the book in a different way. They add value to people who've read the book, who may be thinking, I wish I knew something more about that topic, or they're preparing for book club and they want to know more information. They're good reading in their own right, and they oftentimes hook people into books that they might not have thought they're interested in. One other thing, if you find you like the reviews of a particular reviewer on BookBrowse, you can follow their reviews, because the reviewers, we don't just assign books to reviewers. We filter the books that we publish on BookBrowse, we feature on BookBrowse, starting with the catalogues 6 months ahead. We then cross-reference with the pre-pub magazines as they come out. We filter those down to the books that we believe look like they're best in class, and we put some of those on BookBrowse. And then we go to our reviewers and we say, which of these are of interest to you? And we send the list to them, 1 or 2 people at a time, so they have time to pick. And so our reviewers get matched up with books that are right for them and are of interest to them. And they have some knowledge of the genre. So you get people who bring value to their reviews. They're not there to show off their knowledge of reviewing and literature. They're there to help the readers decide if a book's right for them. But if you find a reviewer's books that you like, you can then follow them. We're in the books and authors section of the Beyond the Book articles at the moment. So if you like that particular Beyond the Book category, you could go and you could see more articles in this category. And from there, you could then go and discover more books. This one's about After the Funeral. And I have got totally distracted from what I was showing you, which was the reader-like apps, the reader-like app and the other apps. So that's one app you could put on your website. You could also, for example, put an app on which simply displays the week's top picks. These are available for people to click, and with one click, they can read those reviews and articles without having to log in, so they get a feel for what BookBrowse is about. You can also link to our book club recommendations for the week and more. But I'm going to leave this section now to take you actually to the site. About time. Twice a month, we publish the BookBrowse Review. This is our flagship magazine, and this is one way of approaching BookBrowse. You can treat us as a book discovery, reader's advisory resource, or it's a wonderful standalone magazine in its own right. Here's the latest issue, and you can kind of read the introduction. You can see what reviews we're covering this month. You actually can see this issue twice a month we do this. You can see the books down here. You can see the Beyond the Book articles related. You can catch up on the latest author interviews that we think are of interest. You can find out what we're discussing in our book club and join in. Latest news from the world of books, what's publishing in the next couple of weeks, and then some fun stuff at the bottom. And every time you click on one of these books, for example, if you clicked on Julia from the magazine, you're getting so much more information than you'd get in a print magazine. This is a self-contained resource, but if you want to know more about the book, you can just jump away to BookBrowse to get more. And there's no dead ends. There's always more information to discover. We're not just going to say, we recommend this book because, and just leave it as a link. When we have a reader likes, we're jumping off to new information. So, for example, here, as you saw previously, we've got the media reviews, we've got the reader reviews, we've got the jacket, we've got the author biography. We've also got, what else have we got? I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong section here. That was actually just one of the author, I think that was one of the book club discussions. So that was a limited amount of information showing there. All the other information is on the site. We just don't have it in the magazine to limit the amount of information we're giving. But here's one of the featured books for this issue, and you've got the synopsis, you've got the excerpt, you've got the reading guide, you've got the reviews, the Beyond the Book article, you've got the reader likes, and you've also got the genres and themes. I read this book and I actually find I'm rather interested in learning more about the 80s and 90s. So I click there and I'm now in the 80s and 90s section of BookBrowse. I'm currently viewing this in the just jacket mode. I can change to view text only or full information, book information. I can also reorder by critics. And each of these books, I can jump off and see the same level of information I showed you previously. Now, let's say I've actually got a particular interest and I want to filter down more. I want to view nonfiction, and I'm interested in, what am I interested in today? I'm interested in generational sagas, nonfiction generational sagas. And I could drill down further, by the way, by time period and setting. I'd get down to a fairly small number of books by that point, but what I'm given will be fully backed up by our information, by our recommendation. We're only going to put books into that we truly believe in. And I can see all the books that fit this description. And let me just jump back. I forgot some of the new section. The new section, you can see what we're recommending today, this week, and by month. Again, I'm viewing in the jackets view here, but I could change to view by genre. Let me just show you the genre. We can, so literary fiction, historical fiction, short stories, mysteries, thrillers, biography, memoir, history, current affairs, and young adult. And now, if you wanted to see, as a librarian, what books, you could download a list of the October books or any other month. And also I should show you can go forward in time and back in time. But let's say I wanted to download a list of September books. I've already done this because it opens in a spreadsheet and that would be difficult. I'd have to change my screens. So this is what I downloaded earlier. This is a great resource for the book discovery, for collection development, I should say. You can see the rating we've given the book, the genre. You can click to view the book on BookBrowse if you want more information. You've got the publisher and all the publishing information. We also, yes, book news, yeah, discover. I've shown you the filter search. Let me quickly show you our award winners. Honestly, I think our award winners are actually deeper than many of the actual award sites, because we've been tracking them for so long. We have our own annual awards, but we also cover all these other awards. For example, the National Book Critics Circle. If you want to know what was published, what National Critics Circle awarded last year, there you have them. If you want to see previous award winners, we have them all the way back to 2002. Reader likes. I think I've shown you the reader likes, but you can go to reader likes page. You can search by title and author. Yeah, nothing much new to show you there. Pretty logical. Book clubs, amazing resources for book clubs. We are not a book club website because we believe that book clubbers are just regular readers like anyone else who finds books in their daily travels. But because of the type of books that we feature, we are very much book club central. And over the years, we have become, frankly, experts in book club research and information. We've been researching book clubs for 15 years, book clubs and readers. These are our latest 2 reports that are available on BookBrowse. This was a survey of 5,000 people in 2019, and we thought we'd rest on our laurels with that. And then the pandemic came along, and we realized we needed to go back out and find out exactly what book clubs were doing right now during the pandemic. And so in November 2020, we went out and researched another 3,000 people to find out how book clubs were changing because of the pandemic and how they were changing for the long term. And everything we do with book clubs is informed by our research. For example, in our blog, you will find articles about how book clubs work and what goes wrong in book clubs and how to resolve them. This is all based on our research into book clubs, where book club has told us what makes their book club tick, what they love about their book club, what goes wrong, how they resolve it. And this is all in here and then feeds out into our advice sections, into our blog posts, and even the books we discuss. You can search for book club reads by time period, setting, and theme. You can join our discussions. You can see what's coming up. For example, Mercury Pictures. Here, our book club discussions are a great resource for deciding what to read in your book club. I mean, obviously, you can come and join our discussions, and patrons can subscribe to receive a notification when a new discussion is opening, just a one-time message, so they know it's opening. But they're also immensely useful resources for researching book clubs, because our visitors, our participants in the book clubs, are encouraged to listen to each other and only respond when they can add value to what's already been said. So the conversations are very cohesive. If you want to come and find out whether a book's right for your book club that you haven't read, just view the overall topic, because there's no spoilers. If you're deciding what to read in your book club, then come and dig down into the topics that have been discussed and find out which have really generated the interesting conversations, and then bring those to your book club. There's more in there, but I'm running out of time. I've shown you the Beyond the Book articles. Authors, lots of information on authors. One of the things that many people appreciate are our pronunciation guide. There's nothing better than going to your book club and being the one who actually knows how to pronounce the author's name. And we have author interviews, we have games like author pronunciation games. There is so much more. Quickly, the young adult section. BookBrowse is predominantly a site for adults, but we do cover some young adult books. And more importantly, perhaps, we cover adult YA, because in honesty, it's quite easy just to look at the back of a book jacket or the publisher's name and know that it's published for the YA audience. What's more challenging is to know which books might cross over to mature young adult readers. And so that's what we cover in our YA section. Genuine YA books, or categorized as YA books, and then adult YA crossovers. And we also have our blog. And I think, and as I said, the blog is always informed by our own, well, not always informed by our own research, but the advice section of it is always informed by our research. And we also publish really useful information. But behind the scenes for book clubs, I must show you this. We interview a range of book clubs in detail. These aren't surveys, these are in detail things. And these provide an amazing resource of really a how-to run a book club. For example, Paging Creatives is a focused, business-orientated book club for creatives in the creative field who discuss a range of fiction and nonfiction. Their learning could transfer to any other sort of business-orientated book club. Sisters Are Reading do extraordinary fundraising and volunteer work. The ESL Book Club of Harrison Library is like a roadmap to running a book club of that type in your library. We have 80 of these detailed interviews on BookBrowse. And I think at that point, it's probably about time for me to close, except to say, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you'd like more information, please contact us. You can go to our contact page, email info@bookbrowse.com, or come to bookbrowse.com/lib and simply click on Get a Quote. And actually, you don't even need to get a quote if you just want to get information. fill in the contact form. Only a few of these fields are required. If you want a quote, give us your population, and we will reply promptly with a quote for your library. Our prices are, the last two libraries I spoke to individually both said, and I quote, very reasonable. And I hope you'll find we are a good resource for a library. We never do these sort of bait and switch pricing where you come in at a low price and then suddenly a year later you're up madly increased. We increase modestly, basing our future increases on the initial price. And I think you will find that we are a great resource for your library. And thank you so much for your time. My name is Davina. If you have anything you'd like to know about BookBrowse, please do contact me or BookBrowse at any time.